DreamWorks has always been kind of inconsistent with its movie quality, but when it nails it, and this one nails it. Alright, hi guys, welcome back. I'm catching up on the movies I saw months ago that I've been not too lazy, but just too busy and hectic to actually review. One of those movies is The Wild Robot, which came out back like in October, I think. And it was the latest DreamWorks movies that kind of blew everyone out of the water, and for good reason. It's a gorgeous, animated, heartfelt film. That might be one of the best animated films of the year, except maybe for the next one I'm going to talk about after this one, which I love so much. But we'll get into that one a little later. So The Wild Robot, I'm gonna do my best to refresh my memory because it's been a while since I've watched it. Is a movie about takes place in kind of a not necessarily post-apocalyptic future, but definitely one where it is clear that technology innovation has taken over in favor of actual planetary concerns, or not planetary concerns, like climate change kind of affecting the wildlife quite a bit, and mankind doing its best to adapt and thrive in those circumstances, and it looks like they have, but at the behest of said nature. So in that story, there is a robot that works part of this company that was got into shipment that crashed on this island, and this robot kind of lands on the island to get activated. And initially, she is trying to fill her function. She doesn't know how to handle the wildlife. She doesn't know what she's doing. She can't understand these people are not the same as humans. So she is not very welcome at the initial uptake. But over time, she takes the effort to understand their language, understand and communicate with them, and starts to befriend people slowly but surely, starting with Fink, who is played by Pedro Pascal, played Fink. I actually didn't know that. Who is this fox that is kind of just looking to scam to survive. One of those characters where he's just kind of like, look how slick I am. And then but he and Roz, which is the name of the robot, kind of form this unlikely alliance to survive and work together, especially during one of her attempts to I think she was chasing after something, I don't remember exactly what. She crashed into a duck's nest and accidentally killed Mama Duck and found the last remaining egg, which turned out to be the runt of the litter. So she eventually kind of takes raises the duck as her own, names it Bright Bill, played by Kit Connor, and over time turns into this increasingly more maternal figure that starts developing friendships and bonds with the other animals in the wildlife, and eventually becomes a very necessary part of the community. So right off the bat, what I love with the movie is, one thing, the animation is absolutely gorgeous. The animation looks amazing. It's like a mixture of looks almost hand-painted in certain aspects, and then also some beautiful animation on top of all that. All the characters are really really well written and well casted. The humor is darker than I expected. I was not really expecting that. There's some references to people just fucking dying, and that's the punchline. And I laughed. I thought it was pretty dark humor actually, and I respect that in a kids movie that it kind of got away with that. But it also makes a point to point out kind of the brutality and ruthlessness of nature at times. Even though it can be community, it can be gorgeous, it can be worth exploring, it is also dangerous for a reason. And the way they kind of balanced that out was very clever and very well thought out, and did carry with it a heartfelt message about community and being for each other in that community, and learning what it means to be supportive in a community. On top of that, it also has a lot to say about it is a meditation on motherhood, first and foremost, and how Roz, played by Lupita Nyong'o, I probably butchered that entirely. I know the actress; she's a brilliant actress. But anyway, and the way she kind of adapts to motherhood and starts to understand her child's needs, and the child starts to come more into his own, and how they eventually have to overcome their differences and let her be the mother to help him survive, is a very beautiful sequence. And I really liked also, on top of that, it does tackle what happens next in motherhood, which in this case is literal empty nest syndrome, which a lot of mothers, I know my mother really struggled with this, and one thing that kind of was one of the things that led her more to alcoholism. That's a whole other conversation. And kind of like coping, it's like once you've made your life and your mission, in this case, literally her mission is your child. When that mission is done, when it's finished, when they move on, they can show to be independent. What happens next? What do you do with your life when your life has been this person for a long time? And I like the way they tackle that. I like the way they had those scenes of rediscovery, of the importance of memory, of the importance of loving what came before, but also loving yourself and loving what comes after enough to survive empty nest syndrome. So I think that what they do is really, really beautiful. I think there's definitely, it's not a perfect film. I think the biggest problem is the first act does feel a little rushed. Not entirely, but like there's a lot of chaotic action sequences that happen early on, a lot of like chase sequences and stuff like that, and it does feel like it goes at such a brisk pace that I was kind of like, whoa, okay, slow down. And once it does, it's amazing. But it does take a little bit to get to that equilibrium. Sorry, I just got a notification on BlueSky. Try me on BlueSky if you haven't already. So I think but that's really like my biggest complaint about the movie. But once you get past that point, the rest of it is fantastic and easily one of the best anime movies of the year. I think a lot of people will agree on that. And I know I personally really loved it and fell in love with all these different characters. So I think it's all I have to say with The Wild Robot. It is a great film. I'm glad it got the recognition that it did and got the audience that it did. And it's really sad to hear that DreamWorks apparently has shuttled a lot of its internal animation department. So hopefully we still get like stuff like this in the future, but who knows? All I know is I enjoyed it while we got it. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to do one more review today before I call it a day, because this movie I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm going to do that now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all later.